Oifen Hashishi. Oifen Hashishi. Page Kuf Pei Dalet.
Page Kuf Pei Dalet and what?
Of
Chovos haLevavos.
the Leif Tov. You have the Chovos haLevavos, Leif Tov. That's what we're reading from the bottom. What did I do?
Right, okay.
Okay.
Ofen Hashishi, okay.
Ofen Hashishi. So, no, I think we started this. Yeah, we started.
I think we're up to, I don't know where we're up. Maybe should be.
I think we were in middle. We're in middle. I don't think we got. Okay, let's do it again. Oifen Hashishi Cheshvan HaNefesh Sheyasa Atzmo Kshu Mavchin B'midosav Shein Noitois Lahamers Habar. Yeah, we did do this. You're right. Shvi. I didn't move my marker.
I think we started Shvi, but we can start it again.
Okay. So, Oifen Hashvi Hu Cheshvan HaNefesh HaOdom Lasa Atzmo Hu Misyaches Aloko B'chol HaProtim K'moi Eved. What's your relationship? What's your relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu? In the introduction, he writes, "She's pointing b'tayvas hagadolos sh'Hashem oisel and afshay l'gufay." Person has to give his us all the benefits, all the tremendous good that Hashem does to us, both our nefesh and our guf. Hashem mashkiv tomer pnimasoi b'chitzayni yotzai. Now, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is always overseeing, seeing, gazing at our pnimius and our chitzonius. Hashem boichen manasais, and how Hashem tests us. Are you going after your gates? And how Hashem's taught us. I mean, you can't say I don't know what's good, what Hashem wants, because it's in the Torah. A person has to demand from himself. He has to serve Hashem with all his actions and all his koichish. And to relate to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and be misnaik towards Hashem with everything, just like an Eved. An Eved has nothing of his own. Everything of Eved belongs to the master, and it's all dedicated to serving the master. So we too, it's a big test. It's a big challenge, right? To live with such a reality that I have nothing. It's not like, okay, I serve Hashem, that's part of my life. And another part of my life is I take care of myself and I do things for myself. It's a tremendous madrega. That everything.
Madrega of that, or madrega that you have nothing?
Madrega in avodas Hashem. To really that everything I do is all dedicated to saying Hashem. There's no me. There's no my wants. There's no my desires. I know that what I'm here for. I know I'm here to serve Hashem, and everything I do, every decision I make, whatever I do, we know that the
every breath you take, he'll be watching you.
Every breath I have is to serve Hashem. It's not a question. Of course he's watching, but I'm not talking mitzad Hashem. I'm talking myself, my dedication. My whole being is dedicated. And everything I do, I have to put through that filter. Is this Ritzayin Hashem? Is this not? Why am I doing this? Is it for self-covered, self-pleasure, self-taiva? Or no? All my decisions, the Alta, I think it was the Alta from Kelm, used to say that person always has to ask, "Vos vil de tata," which in English means, what does my father want? Everything I do has to go through that prison. What does my father want? In every situation I'm in my daily stuff. It says in many places that when a person eats, he should have kavanis eating so he could serve Hashem. He should be healthy. Rav Miller talks about this, right? And that's our Rav Miller, is a big fan of you can't eat things like candies and stuff because it's not helpful. It's damaging your body. Like, wow, what's the head to eat that? You know what I mean? Everything has to be Ratzon Hashem. I sleep so I can have courage to get up in the morning to serve Hashem. I eat, I exercise, I can do a lot of things. I can play ball.
Well, so how does one fulfill Oneg? Because isn't the concept of Oneg Shabbos is that you are enjoying it, and that has to be from your perception. Like it's like we have an Oneg Shabbos of candy and cake and whatever.
It's a great question you're asking me, Ron. There was this, to me, I say he was a silent. Never heard of him until I started reading. There's these little pamphlets they give out from Birshu every Shabbos, and it's really a collection of they find stories from different books. And there's someone named Ralph Feldman. He seemed to have been such an incredible person. It ends up he was a Rav in a shul somewhere, but beyond, off the charts as an Oved Hashem. And his son once noticed, he took note that on Shabbos when he would eat slowly, even though he knew that during the week. He would just sit down, knock off the meal and go further. And he brought it up, and his father I don't know what you're talking about. Like just push him off. But he kept on tracking this, and he saw it 1 week, 2 weeks. He says, no, there's something going on there. On Shabbos, his father's eating slowly, and during the week, he's knocking it off. And he finally pushed him against the wall. He said, well, Tati, what's going on? His father said, listen, during the week, there's no real mitzvah to eat. The mitzvah to eat is I should be healthy. So I just knock it down, I ate good food, I'm finished. On Shabbos, there's a din of Oneg. When I eat, it has to be, I'm giving covet to Hashem. I'm enjoying the meal because it's the honor of Hashem. Right? Visana gal Hashem. It's not I'm supposed to be enjoying it so I feel good. I ate. There's this guy. I don't think it's Lashon Hara because there's no way you can know who he is. But, because I have this smartphone from the yeshiva, so all the parents, well, most of the parents are on my smartphone, and when they have statuses, I get to see it. So I'm not going to say where the guy lives, so it's mamish totally anonymous. But he's always posting these things, right? He has all these grills and these smokers and these slow cookers. He has a whole marachet, any type of thing he could have. And he's always posting, oh, look at this steak, look at this lamb chops, look at this, I put it in before I went to work, and it's in a slow cooker, and it's covered Shabbos kaidesh, can't wait. It's been slow cooking for 10 hours, like covered Shabbos kaidesh, maybe, I don't know, but it's funny, he's taking the depth of all the Gashmias in America, and he's covered Shabbos, maybe, but in any case, we do say, right? We do say, the Sana Gal Hashem means that I'm having Hana and I'm enjoying the covered Hashem, the covered Shabbos. I once found this in a newspaper, and I even translated it. There was a little article about this. But we say in davening, Yismachu b'malchuscha, Shemei Shabbos v'kari yonik. Right? We say it in davening. What does that mean? You should rejoice. I'm rejoicing on Shabbos. Hashem's rulership, his kingship is revealed. 6 days he worked. On Shabbos, he rested. And the whole Shabbos is an expression that Hashem created the world, and he's the king. So we say, Yismachu b'malchuscha Shemei Shabbos, those who keep Shabbos rejoice in Hashem's malchus v'kari yonik, and declare it in yonik. So someone who sits on Shabbos and is eating because he's rejoicing in Hashem's malchus. When you go to a wedding, you're rejoicing in the wedding. Right? Again, we lose it sometimes. We get too much into I'm eating, I forget that I'm at a wedding and just enjoying, the food. But really, the wedding meal is here, expression of the Chassan and Kala, and I'm rejoicing with the Chassan Kala. Part of it is eating this Suda. It's part of it, should be. And on Shabbos, I'm rejoicing and I'm enjoying the food on Shabbos. It's to express what Shabbos is. And I'm rejoicing in this day. Yismachu b'malchuscha, rejoice in Hashem's malchus, Shemim Shabbos, v'kari yonik. This was from it was interesting because all right, it's too long of a story. But for Rabbi Finkel's outside, the Shiva in the Mir in Brachfeld. So he used to give Friday night schmoozes, and he discussed this concept that the Suda Shabbos, right, is an expression of Hashem's Malchus, and that's what I'm rejoicing, the Oneg Shabbos. So again, if you eat in Shabbos because it's an excuse to fresh, and it's not expressing.
What does it mean in like I guess after the dawn they say we're called the Am Medushne Oneg.
Right. That's a good question. Let me give it some thought. It says, sometimes people forget. The whole point of Suda Shabbos, their whole enjoyment is just enjoyment. They forget. What's the reason for this? What's the reason I'm making such a nice banquet? Why am I doing this? 3 meals. Why am I doing it? You forget. It's an expression of my simcha for Shabbos and Malchus Shamayim. All you need to do is think about it a little bit, and you're on board, right?
I asked a Shaila a couple of weeks ago that isn't it true that if you don't have herring on Shabbos, you're chayav kares?
Yeah.
It's very evident to me. I'm telling you.
Yeah. It's a funny thing with the herring. Yeah. In any case, I'm not a big herring eater, so it doesn't matter. So what am I saying? So I'm saying, but really, if we were on that madriga, it should be our goal, that our whole being is the Eved Hashem. The whole being Eved Hashem means that everything I do, and Eved Mashakona, Eved Kona Rabbi, whatever Eved belongs to the Rab, the whole Eved's existence is to serve the Rav. He doesn't have his own existence. That's the definition of an Eved. So I'm an Eved Hashem. Everything I do goes through that prism, goes through those eyeglasses. What does Vos Vilt the Tata? What does HaKadosh Baruch Hu want? Every time to make a decision, I have to sit down myself and say, what is Ritzayin Hashem in this thing? Not what I want. And it's sometimes difficult. So you got to go to someone who's outside of you. Right? You have these tools. You have a Rebbe. You have a friend who's not seeing things through your eyeglasses. He could be more objective because he's not talking about himself. What is the Ritzayin Hashem in this situation? What is the right thing? I just read over supper an incredible story. Again, only a Chazon Ish could say this because his Das Torah was so powerful. But there was a guy who was learning in Koilo, and he had to leave Koilo, and he had a tremendous charisma. He was a tremendously charismatic person, and he was offered charismatic. Seems like he had tremendous organizational skills, and he was offered 2 jobs. This was way back when the Medina was just forming. One was to take over the kashrus of the Rabbanut and set it up in a way that it was going to be solid. It was a little iffy at that point. It hadn't yet formed, the protocols, everything. And they wanted him to take the job because they saw he had those abilities. And the other thing was that he was being offered a job as a mashkiach in the yeshiva Tana. And he was going with the idea, look, mashkiach yeshiva Tana, if it won't be me, it'll be someone else. And the guy's already sitting and learning in yeshiva. So my potential in influencing and affecting is limited on a certain level. If I take over the kashrus, it's going to affect all of the Jews in Eretz Yisrael. If I set it up in a good way, then it's going to affect all the Jews are going to eat kosher. And he went to ask the Chazon Ish. The Chazon Ish asked him an interesting question. He said, if you take the job as the mashkiach, is it possible that even one boy during Bein Hasmanim, when he's not in yeshiva, will he learn on his own because of being inspired by your shmuzes? And he said, yeah, he thinks even more. He felt that he had a potential, and he wasn't hiding his potential. He felt that he could have real influence on the boys to the extent that it could affect their bein hazmanim, even when they're nice. So what's the question? Of course, he should take the job as the mashgiach, because one boy learning more Torah over bein hazmanim, when then it's on your own choice, you're not being forced to. You're on your own, and you're making those decisions. Certainly made the other call. What do you mean, kashrus? All of Klal Yisrael. Hazaynish, in his understanding of the balance, he says that's the Ritzayin Hashem, because Torah is the overriding mitzvah in the world. There are Gemaras, right? Most of us have learned Megillah. And at the beginning of Megillah, the Gemara makes a statement that Talmud Torah is greater than Atzalas Nefashis. And if you're standing at the side of a bank of a river and someone's drowning, someone else could jump in and save the person, and you can take a Gemara in the meantime and learn. The correct choice is take a Gemara and learn. Let someone else say, because you're doing a bigger mitzvah. Of course, if it's something that only you're there and there's nobody else. So we always have the rule that everything, anything can only be done by you. So that's, an extension of learning the Torah. But in essence, the mitzvah Talmud Torah is bigger. So you need someone, right? But before we get to those hard decisions, and I'm saying a person has to know, that's what he's saying. We didn't even start with just at the Takdama, right? I have to know an Eved Hashem, and Eved Hashem means I have nothing. Let's see what he says. And this is the cheshbon hanefesh a person has to make. How much of an Eved Hashem am I? How much of an Eved Hashem?
Can you make the same argument that somebody else could learn Torah?
You can make that argument, but no. That other person should make that argument, and then you got to flip a coin, I guess. I don't know. But if no one's asking questions, and he's going to jump in, and you can learn. So go learn. If he's going to say, "Woman, I want to learn," you jump in. So I don't know. Flip a coin. I don't know. It's a Gemara. It's a first Gemara at the beginning of the Torah. You don't have to get too far into the Masechta there. That's okay. Now, avoid this derech on your Torah. This was derech that. That's derech that. Okay. Ha'ofen asher yu cheshbon hanefesh. What's my relationship to HaKadosh Baruch Hu with everything about me, all my pratim? Am I an Eved? Person has to be darish for himself. He has to take himself to task. Yeah, he's going to fulfill to HaKadosh Baruch Hu all his obligations that's on an Eved to a master. That's how we ended up. I said, maybe I'll go look back and see what it says. I didn't do that. And Shara Avodas Elokim, most of it's mentioned there. Yain Shama Mavakesh Lodasai. If you want to know what they mean, let's just see if Matnas Chalke from Tisio says something on this, just on these first few lines before we go further. Oh, here it is. Okay, we had read this. Till now, he talked about avodas Hashem mitzad hakoros hatoiv, shara b'china, ayo Hashem, all the chesed he does, and now he's talking about the next level, I guess, of inyan ishtablut shemuchuyev b'hakorach. Not because it's coming from my appreciation, but that I'm obligated. I was created obligated. How's the pasuk going to Devarim? Santi lefanecha machayim v'atoiv u'bacharta b'chayim. There's mitzavos b'charta b'chayim. It's not like you got a choice, you choose bad. No, there's mitzavah b'charta b'chayim. Okay, we have bechira to make it a challenge, make it a choice, but it's not like we have two options. We have the right option and the wrong option. And on this level, we're talking about not that I'm doing a favor or I'm paying back Hashem for the good He did to me, which is also Meshabed. But no, I'm doing it because I have to. It means that I do it in a manner. I'm not serving Hashem because my understanding. I said somewhere that the whole idea of Bechira is to choose to be a muchach. The idea of Bechira is to make choices that I don't have a choice.
I mean, the Grail Knight said, choose, but choose wisely.
What's that?
The Grail Knight said, choose, but choose wisely.
I don't know what the Grail Knight is. I'm sorry.
You never seen Indiana Jones?
No.
Rebbe,
Could you imagine?
this is the Holy Grail.
See that? See that? Okay.
You think you know
V'zeh
someone.
t'nai avdos. What's that?
You think you know someone.
Yeah. Right. Zeh t'nai avdos. That's the condition of an eved, is that I don't have my own. I'm an eved. Shakadosh Baruch Hu odoin aleinu. Hashem is my master. Machmat she'eino oisei imon l'tovus rabbis tamid. Now, it's again, he comes back to it. He says, because Hashem does all the good to us, but I reached over, I'm serving him because he's my master and I have to. Okay, maybe we'll still get to see. I don't know. I'm not going to say bli neder, right? I will say bli neder. Let's go over. He should make a cheshbon, a nefesh, with himself as per these obligations. How do I make that cheshbon nefesh? By being disappointed on all the good that Hashem does to us constantly. By this that Hashem constantly is preparing for me all what's good for me, what I need. And Hashem has mercy upon me. It gives me constantly all the sustenance I need. He doesn't leave me to fend on my own, to go on my own. That you should make the decision what's good for you, what's not good for you. No, Hashem's taking care of me. And also, Chochma Seichel Bina, Hashem gave us that Chochma and that Seichel. There's Yanikas in Yonav, so that I should run my life based on this gift that Hashem gave me, Chochma. And through the Chachma, I could understand, I could appreciate the obligations that are upon me towards Hashem. I'm your Eved, Habineni. Grant me Bina. And I'll know your mitzvahs. Because this is we see all the Gedolim learn Chovos haLevavos, right? But it's to me at least, it's Rav Miller who brought this forward. This idea that Avodah Hashem has to do being mispoining and good that mispoining in the world, mispoining in the Chovos that he does. He made that so much of his life and life message. Yeah, I have to do mitzvahs, right? That's Avodas Hashem. You got to do mitzvahs. You see what it says in the Torah. But here we see that there's a whole nother level of Avodas Hashem, Chovos haLevavos, right? And and for that you need to dedicate time to ponder this, to read this, to learn this, to internalize it. Hashem's doing me good. Be aware, live with it. You say, right, I want to show it said, earlier. You say the Berachas HaShachar, internalize it. These are chasodim Hashem does for me. Sure, I could say the brachas, but I also start saying them by rote. You say it every day. You start saying by rote. Slow down, internalize. Make a study of all the other tovos Hashem does to you daily. Kol haneshama ta'alokai, every breath. Every breath. We got big lessons. We say this a few times. COVID should have taught us something. You know what I mean? Every breath counts. Every breath is a gift. Mamash, a gift from Hashem. So when a person recognizes the tremendous benefits that Hashem does for his nefesh, for his guf, for all of his actions, all his movements, and on top of that, he gives thought to the fact that Hashem sees us constantly. There's no break. Hashem sees everything we're doing. And Hashem knows what's going in our external actions and what we're trying to hide, what we have in our thoughts, whatever. Hashem knows it all. Vishu mashkiach al kol tnoisav. And he's seeing all of our actions. V'kovel oisam b'kvolov. Shoylet aleim. What does that mean? And Hashem is in control of all of it. Kovel means he like binds you, chains you. Hashem is in charge of all of that. V'shoylet aleim. I can't really do what I want. This Bechira thing is overrated. So I can't really. I think I could. I live in this bubble that I think I could make choices. Hashem's setting everything up. Hashem guides us. The case is Shumanasa Weichenoise and how Hashem tests us. Giving me that choice, Lishtamish Bevar, to use my body, Lahatis Esrayonov, and my thoughts of Yashpos, Yitzhak Tov Yitzhak, based on the influence of my Yitzhak Tov Yitzhak. And he gives thought, he studies. This Hashem gave us the Torah to teach us. Gave us the book to tell me what's Ritzayin Hashem. What are things that are anti-Ritzayin Hashem? When a person goes through these thought processes, the result will be that he'll use everything he has, his whole body, and all his emotional kochas. The drum shall yodam to do things to do things that will find favor in Hashem's eyes. As a result, these are things that Hashem will bring me close to Him. We Yosem all of us had tipshus, and Hashem will remove from him the foolishness that doesn't allow me. Doesn't allow me to see the tremendous good that Hashem does to me. And then you'll live with a certain awe of Hashem, certain bush of Hashem, your actions all being scrutinized. And you'll love Hashem, and you have a desire. It'll cause you a desire to do Hashem's will. When he does that, that affects, that brings upon you tremendous benefits, I guess, beyond what you have, and tremendous light, whatever that means. Will go by the light of your face. Have illumination, have a clarity. What does that mean that Hashem is your Panav? He gives me a clarity. He brings me a closeness. He gives me a chen. Let's see what it says here. Doesn't say anything on this. Okay, so we'll stop here. Yeah.